Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the differences between the disc bound system and the ring bound system. So it is no surprise that over the last few months, these two systems have really gained some popularity within the community. So I figured today would be a great day to share with you some of the differences between the A5 ring system and the half letter disc system in case you're out there considering a new planning system for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into these systems. The first one I'm going to go over is the A5 rings. So for full transparency, yes, I do have both the A5 cover in both the one that has no rings and the one with rings. Both of these can be found over at Cloth and Paper. I do believe the one with rings at the time of filming this is still available, but the one with rings always sells out super fast, so it's currently unavailable. All right, so let's talk about rings. Rings is probably an A5, has been around probably much longer than discs have been. I think I tried rings out in this size years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I've kind of been in and out of it over the last 6 months or so, just trying to find my groove in this size of a planner. So the good thing about rings is that it comes in a variety of sizes. So you can find rings as small as pocket. I even think that there's a micro pocket that Filofax carries. There's personal wide, A6, A5. A lot more companies cater to rings than they do to discs. The other thing that I love about rings is that you truly can customize this system. And I'm just gonna use this other planner to hold this down. So you can pick your dividers, you can pick the different sections that you're going to have in your planner, and you can rearrange those as you see fit. So I just have some daily inserts in here. I have some dot grid paper. Again, I kind of took out a lot of the stuff that was used in these inserts just because they had a lot of personal things. I also have another monthly section in here that I was using for content, a budgeting section, and then some habit trackers in the back. But again, you can really turn this into whatever you want to. I have seen people use this planner just for their home and divide up the different sections like bills, projects, things like that. And like I said, a lot of companies do cater more to this size. You can find a variety of Filofax covers for rings. You can find them in KikiK. Cloth and Paper makes a few different sizes. I believe they do personal A6 and A5. And of course, you can get as expensive as getting one from Louis Vuitton, which could cost you quite a pretty penny. Now, some of the cons with rings, at least that I have found from my own experience with using the ring system, is that you can't change the size of the rings unless you're in a planner like the Giglio that has a system where you can change the rings and take them out if you want. However, when you go ahead and change the size of the rings, it really drastically changes how far your tabs come out, and they might actually stick out beyond the side of the planner, and it would just be a mess. Now, another con for me personally is going back to the rings themselves is that sometimes the ring mechanisms don't always last so long, and you can end up with gaps, making it very difficult to turn the pages where things will get caught and they will tear. Another con for me in the ring bound system is the fact that you cannot fold it over on itself. And it is one of the main reasons why I stopped using this planner, was because I like something that you can fold back over on itself, and you just can't do that without this system, or with this system, without really damaging the binder, which is not what you want to do. And you can't take the whole thing out of here. The rings are screwed into the body of the planner. So that is something to consider. So your pages would have to stay open like so. So that's something to consider if you're trying to decide between these two planners. I will say though that as I'm flipping through here, I really miss A5 rings. This was a bad idea to do this video. The ring mechanism with the A5 planner is great, especially this one from Cloth and Paper. I haven't had any issues with it so far, but again, it's really just in how much you pull on the rings. You'll want to be careful with that because, like I said, you can end up with a gap. but you can easily take something out, move it to another section. Once you have your cover, all you have to do is buy inserts, unless you like to have multiple different types and different colors of covers. It truly is a very customizable system. So it really comes down to how you want your pages connected. All right, now let's move on to the disc-bound system. All right, so some of the pros of the disc-bound system is that there is a now, I would like to say maybe now more so in the last few months, there's definitely more variety of accessories and covers and discs as this system grows to be more and more popular. I feel like there's still room to grow for this system. There are some things that I feel like it would be nice to have more of a variety of covers. I feel like there's not a lot of covers for these. If you want to have a cover, I have shown my setup video of this planner. If you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link down below. But you can have this planner without the cover, which is probably one of my favorite features of the disc-bound system. So unlike the rings, you can actually change the size of your discs based on what you need. The rings are how they are in the planner unless you have one where the rings can be changed out. So that is one of my favorite things about this system, and I actually have different size discs arriving today. Again, one of my favorite features of the disc-bound system is that I can take it out of that cover and then I can fold it on its side, making writing a heck of a lot easier. You can also take the pages out if you want, just like the rings. Here's my week view. But you can take the pages out if you needed to write on them and make writing on the pages easier. Again, I highly recommend using metal discs as opposed to the plastic ones. And just if you pull just right on the paper, you're not going to have any issues with any sort of tearing or ripping of your papers, and everything just goes right back in. Super easy. You don't have to worry about gaps in discs because there aren't any. Again, my only issue really with this system is that there's just not a whole lot of love for it yet outside of like the Happy Planner and cloth and paper. You can get covers like from Louis Vuitton, again, super expensive. You can get a cover from cloth and paper, which I think is a little bit more affordable, still on the expensive side. You can even get covers from companies like Levenger, that their covers kind of snap into the discs, which is really nice, and they also have leather or leather-like covers as well. Now, I will say, if you are still, I need rings, but I want what this does as far as taking pages in and out, without opening the rings, you can absolutely do that in a ring-bound system. What you would need to do is just take your scissors, and all you'd have to do is cut a slit, and I thought I had an insert in here that had it already, but you could just cut slits into the holes that are punched into your paper, and then you would essentially just have to pull them off the rings and not open and close your rings so much. One more thing to consider when you're possibly considering both of these systems is the type of punch. So for the planners that I have, the ring-bound system, I have this punch from Amazon, the Rapesco, I think it's called. And this punches everything from pocket all the way up to A5. You can see it's kind of small. It does not work for the discs, so your rings will need a separate punch, your discs will need a separate punch. Now, here is the punch for the discs. I have not been able to find a compact punch for the disc-bound system, and this thing was not cheap at all, so that is something else that you will have to consider. I think this was anywhere between $45 and $50. So if you are going to get a punch, make sure that you're committed to the system, because this thing takes up quite a bit of space. And costs quite a bit. And then here's your punch right here for the rings. Compact, you can punch many different sizes in here. You can also punch different sizes with the arc system as well, but as you can see, this thing is a beast. So obviously I'm a little bit biased because I'm currently using the disc system quite a bit these days, and I absolutely love it, but I definitely think you cannot go wrong with discs. I think that both systems are great. You don't have to have everything from one company. You can try out different things. There's lots of companies that make great inserts for both of these. You can get printables like from Annie Plan Printables. I think Infinite Lotus. I can't remember if they do printables and printed, but I have been looking at a few inserts from their shop as well. And of course, you can get inserts from cloth and paper. And I do believe there are other companies out there that do printed inserts as well. I'll look around and see if I can't gather a list for you guys and put it down in the description box. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to what is your personal preference and what you are most comfortable with. Again, can't go wrong with either system. I'm definitely gonna hold on to my A5 though, because I change my mind on what planner I'm using on an almost daily basis. So I am very thankful that I have both of these planners. All right, I hope you guys loved this video and you found it helpful, and maybe it helped you make a decision as to which type of planner you would like to get. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.